Point After Podcast with your host, Julien Barnett.
What is up? What is up, fantasy world? Welcome into the Point After Podcast. I am your host, Julien Barnett. I have a fantastic crew on this week. I'm excited to get into these rookie drafts that we're going to be talking about, rookie picks from the NFL draft. But first, before we get into any of that, I want to introduce some of my guests this week. So I'm going to start with my co-host first, Dan Brown. You can find him on Twitter at Dan Brown NFL. D, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing beautiful. It is Friday evening. Looking forward to breaking down this NFL draft. We've had a little bit of time to digest all the information. I've begun to start shifting around my rookie rankings based on the NFL draft landing spots. So I'm looking forward to breaking it down with all you guys tonight.
Yes, I am excited. We've got a killer crew on it. So let's get into the first of these two. Returning to the Point After Podcast for the second time, right below me down here is Stephie Smalls with 3 L's on Twitter. Stephie, how you doing tonight? It's Friday. You've had a busy week, busy day, actually. Thanks for coming on.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be back. Have my friends here, D-Bro, who I'm sure you will introduce right after, but I'm excited. As always, I'm happy to end my night this way. It'll be a blast. Always love coming on.
Yes, it will be. And our last guest of the evening is Derek Brown from the FTN Network. Both of you guys actually work for FTN Fantasy. You can find him on Twitter at dbro_FFB. Thank you for coming on, man. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great, man. Long week, a lot of content flowing out. Like I said before we turn the mics on, I've got Red Bull and I've got whiskey, and tonight they're going to be married, and it's going to be a good time for all involved. So I'm excited to be here, man. It's going to be a good time.
Yes, it is. So before we really get into this, I just want to ask both of you guys, who was your favorite rookie landing spot? Someone that you just have to grab in your rookie drafts. Derek, I'll go to you first. Take it away, buddy.
Come on. Everybody knows I'm going to go to Trey Sermon. I mean, this is not like some grand methodical surprise that I'm just going to magically start talking about Trey Sermon here. But this was the landing spot. This is like one of 2 landing spots where you were like, okay, where can Trey Sermon go and just eat? It's a great scheme fit, and it's a fantastic spot, and people are still going to try to hate on it. This is it, man. Going to San Francisco is so awesome. For all of the running backs that, like, people are just like, well, what about Raheem Mostert? What about Jeffrey Wilson? And I'm like, what about him, man? Like, what about him? You've got all 3 of those dudes. One's 29 years old. One of them is on a 1-year contract. Jeffrey Wilson is an unrestricted free agent after this year. So 2022, you got Trey Sermon and Elijah Mitchell possibly sharing a backfield, and they just traded up and spent 3rd-round capital on him. How do you hate this? Like, woo-hoo! It's great.
All right. I actually fall kind of on the other coin, but I think you bring up some other side of the coin. I think you bring up some really valuable points in a dynasty perspective, like 2022. That's really where you're going to make your money on Trey Sermon. I worry about people who are spending up on him in redraft, because I think that this is just for this year is going to be some kind of running back carousel. Doesn't matter who the best guy is. Shanahan just plays this weird, throw guys in and let them have the hot hand and do what they do. So I'm not 100% sure that I'm sold on Trey Sermon for 2021, but 2022, 100%. I think in that offense, it's hard to deny Kyle Shanahan. So I'm excited to see how that goes, and we can come back and visit this conversation in 2 years from now and look back on it. So Stephie, who is your favorite rookie landing spot?
So I was going to do the thing that I normally do and like give the answer that no one expects, but I will stick with Shanahan and keep on these vibes. And I love that Trey Lance landing spot. I think that there is nothing more beautiful than that? Like, you want to talk about the perfect spot? That's the perfect spot. There's like, that's it, period. Like, there's not even more you can elaborate about. I mean, he has the most raw talent, I think, personally, out of all of these quarterbacks. He was not the most NFL ready, but you're putting him in a system to flourish. And that's beautiful. Rather than setting a quarterback up for failure, you're giving him like all the success you could imagine. You know, you're giving him Shanahan, you're giving him all the weapons, you're giving him the time. Like Jimmy G, yeah, like I laughed my butt off at that comment. Like, Jimmy G said, I'm gonna do what Brady did for me. Like, okay, just calm down a little bit there, sir. But I think there is some truth to it, where at least like he gets a guy that he can, you know, practice with, train behind for a little bit. He gets a great coach, and this is like, you know, there's no reason he doesn't succeed, and he's just gonna eat in this league for years to come, and it's gonna be so great.
So Jimmy G is going to help him be prettier? Is that how that goes?
Maybe.
Like Tom Brady's going to show him all the different shakes and,
like
and serums and all kinds of Botox. Oh, wait, sorry. I didn't mean to say that, but I did.
Didn't Brady ask for him to be, like, removed from the team?
Maybe that's the real underscore. That's the real underscore of what's up, man. Like, Jimmy G's like, I'm just going to treat him just like Brady treated me, a.k.a. get the hell out.
Yeah. So, where's Trey Lance really going to play?
You guys kill me. And D, I haven't talked to you about this on air yet, so I just want you to hit me. I think it's, you know, pretty obvious you're a Falcons fan. You know, I think the perfect landing spot is screaming at us at number 4, but, you know, take me through your favorite guy.
I mean, it was almost like it was meant to be, Jules. You know, I've been a big Kyle Pitts advocate long in his college days. I am a Florida Gator fan myself. So seeing Kyle Pitts link up with my Atlanta Falcons at the 104 is a dream come true. And I want to take a quick moment to shout out our friends at Viridian Global. I just got this puppy in the mail today. All right, Pitts has that it factor, and he's walking into a dream scenario, quite frankly. There in Atlanta, I mean, guaranteed 600 pass attempts a year, in and out. And Kyle Pitts is, you know, he was my number 1 overall prospect in this draft. You know, and a lot of people, you know, love to fade tight ends, but I've been picking him up early and often in just about every rookie draft I've been in, and I am, you know, biased. Sure, I'm going to ride it, though. He is a specimen. There is no such thing as a 50-50 ball when Kyle Pitts is on the receiving end of a target.
I agree. And RF Fantasy wants to know if you think the Falcons are keeping Julio, or is he on the move?
I think they are going to keep Julio for the time being. You know, Atlanta has – from the moment that they traded up for Julio years ago, Julio's been the guy. And I think they're going to continue to treat him as such moving forward. So long as we still have Matt Ryan under center, I think it was pretty obvious the draft was telling which direction the Falcons went, and that's that they are going to take a shot at this thing this year with the pieces they have in place, being Julio and Matt Ryan, and give Matt Ryan another weapon in Kyle Pitts. That's a prolific offense now. And once again, Atlanta didn't address the running back situation. So while Mike Davis is there, Atlanta's not a team that we're expecting to pound the rock in 2021. There's going to be 600, 650 pass attempts coming from Atlanta in 2021, and Kyle Pitts is going to get his fair share in year 1. Bet on that.
Yeah, I have to agree. Atlanta plays offense like I do in Madden, so we can take that for what you will. So yeah, let's actually get into this because there was some shockers in the NFL draft. We're going to talk about some of these basic landing spots. And yeah, we'll get into it, guys. So what I thought was really interesting about this draft was from a fantasy perspective, we didn't not a whole lot of players lost their jobs. You know, we saw a lot of backup jobs filled, you know, players that, you know, I like, but you know, like Chuba Hubbard, for example, goes to Carolina behind Christian McCaffrey. Like, you know, that's just not an ideal landing spot. There's very limited upside, you know, unless we get another season-ending injury. You know, please don't let that happen. I never like seeing players get injured like that. And so, you know, I want to talk about some of these kind kind of promiscuous landing spots. Some of these guys who we didn't, from a fantasy perspective, didn't really expect to go where they did. So I want to start it off with these 4 wide receivers here because I thought so. Diami Brown selected in the 3rd round at number 19th pick in the 3rd round to the Washington football team. I want you to rank these 4 guys, and we'll go around the circle. D, we'll start with you. So I got Diami Brown, Terrace Marshall, Amari Rogers, and Dwayne Eskridge. These are all guys who went in the 2nd and 3rd round. So I kind of want to gauge where you value these guys because pre-draft, I know a lot of us, weren't particularly high on these players, and now that we're we saw this draft capital come up, it'll be interesting to see how they fall in rookie drafts. And I know. If you guys are like me, a lot of your rookie drafts have already started, and so that ADP has already been kind of fixated into it. So let's talk about this. Let's go to you first. Let me know if you need those names again, and yeah, take it away.
I think I got the names here, and there was one name that stood out to me, and that's my guy Terrace Marshall. And I know Derek can back me up on that one. He's a big Terrace Marshall fan himself. Obviously, he would be 101 for me in that scenario. And then I think I could probably make a case for either Amari Rogers or Dwayne Eskridge. I think I would lean towards Amari Rogers just with the landing spot. And, of course, that's assuming that all bodes well with Aaron Rodgers. If something were to happen where Aaron Rodgers wasn't the quarterback in 2021, Amari Rogers' landing spot really doesn't mean all that much to me all of a sudden. So then Dwayne Eskridge and Diami Brown. Diami, I do like the player. I like what he is. He's a field stretcher. And, so long as Ryan Fitzpatrick is under center there in Washington, he could be, an asset there in Washington. But Dwayne Eskridge is another guy that I was talking about recently. Seattle made it a priority to pick him, apparently jumped in front of LA, who then ended up getting Tutu Atwell, So apparently the Seahawks were high on him, while he is behind DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. Really, he's better than Freddie Swain, who is the number 3 option on that depth chart right now. And if we could see, let Russ cook for one more season here, Eskridge could fit in here. And while he is an older prospect and doesn't check a lot of the other boxes that we're looking for, he's got the draft capital and he's got a quarterback that we all love to root for in Russell Wilson. So, I'd probably lean Eskridge at 3rd, and I'd leave Diami in the back end at 4.
All right. And Derek, let's go down to you. How do you view these guys? I think it's interesting because their draft capital, it makes their ADP rise in rookie drafts. And so, guys like Dwayne Eskridge, Nico Collins is another guy that we could throw into this conversation that's, rising up draft boards because of that draft capital. So do you put any merit into that, or are you sticking to your guns in terms of what you scouted them as a prospect and what you think of them?
I mean, so in this little 4 back of players, Terrace Marshall is head and shoulders above the rest of these 3 guys. That was, if you head over to FTN Fantasy, you look at my breakdown, and I wrote that up like 3 months ago. That was my number 1 landing spot, was Carolina. That was the spot I wanted him to go to, and it wasn't the Joe Brady thing. It was Robbie Anderson's on a 1-year deal, and then you pair him with the 1A, 1B with DJ Moore. So I love that landing spot, and he is a firm tier above these other 3 guys. And we want to talk about Eskridge. That was a terrible pick. Let's just get it out there in the open, man. Horrible pick for a team that's got they had 3 or 4. They had 4 draft picks in the NFL draft.
Yeah,
in the second
and they
round.
just signed Tyler Lockett to a 4-year extension.
Who is under contract till 2024. So I'm like, you're looking at Eskridge's profile, it's bad. His analytical profile is not good. And then you're also dicing up, okay, now they just re-signed Tyler Lockett way past the age of 30. I think they can't get out of that until he's 32, if I'm correct here. But it's 2024. Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf, he's behind. So taking these 4 guys, for me, it's Terrace, and then you have Diami in the middle, and then the other 2 guys. And however you want to go, Amari Rogers, I'm blanking on the other name here, Dwayne Eskridge. I would actually go, I think Diami Brown, because of his analytical profile, is much, much better and superior to the other 2 guys. And if you're looking at similar draft capital, Eskridge went in the second round, but I mean, part of that is Seattle didn't have a damn third round pick. Maybe if they had a third round pick, they grab him there. So I'm not high on Eskridge. I think it's Terrace and Diami, and they are in their own tiers. And then I know everybody wants to talk about Amari Rogers, and I get it. And we're talking about this because we want him to be a thing, and it's in Green Bay, and if Aaron Rodgers and stuff like that. Green Bay ran a lot of 12 personnel last year. They didn't use their slot wide receiver a ton. You still have Allen Lazard there. You still got MVS. I know he can't catch worth a damn, but he can run fast. And Aaron Rodgers still throws to him. Amari Rogers is in the same bucket as Dwayne Eskridge. Like, the analytical profiles are terrible, man. Late breakout ages. The guys didn't do anything until all the other guys were gone. So these are not guys that, even though the draft capital does help them, maybe they jump up a little bit, but I mean, honestly, they jump up a little bit more because this prospect class was shallow, super, super shallow. You start ranking this prospect class and you get outside of like the top 2 rounds and it gets gross really, really fast. And so I really wouldn't be pushing Eskridge and Amari Rogers and Diami that much higher than other guys that I feel like you could even get later, like a Josh Palmer, who I love his landing spot. And you could fashion an easy, really, really easy case to put him in the same bucket and take him over some of these guys. Because Diami, you're worried about target volume. He's tons of competition. You could just go down all these new contracts and players and stuff like that he's going to be competing with. Josh Palmer, Cook is gone after this year. Mike Williams is probably gone. That's basically what this signals to me, that he's gone after this year. And so you walk in next year and he's the third option in the passing offense, led by Justin Herbert, and he's the wide receiver 2. Yeah, wheels up, man. I love him a whole lot out of this class.
I agree. And he's a guy whose ADP hasn't actually risen a whole lot, despite the third round draft capital. So I'm on board with that. I love Josh Palmer. I love his profile, and I agree. Like, Mike Williams is gone, man. They're not going to re-sign him. They spent the past 4 years holding on to them after taking him at the top of the first round. Like you just don't re-sign that kind of draft capital when they have only produced at the mediocre level that Mike Williams has. So anyway, Stephie, let's I want to get to you because you haven't talked in a while. I know you're buzzing to get some input here. So I don't want to hear
Smalls is used to having to listen to me rant for like 30 minutes. So
that happens. I get it. I mean, D and I, we're in the same boat. He hears it. You guys should have heard us before you guys got on the street. But Stephie, I think it's pretty clear that we all think Terrace is, really a tier above the rest of these guys. So let's not talk about him. But I want to throw Nico Collins into this mix and Josh Palmer. Like, so how would you rank those 5 guys together, giving their draft capital, landing spots, and of course, overall talent?
You were like, we're not going to do trivia, but I'm going to add as many players as possible to your question.
You get the tough part, okay? You get the tough part.
Okay, can I just make one comment, though, because it's going to, like, really bother me if I don't, which means, like, I'm going to ignore your question and I'm going to comment on what I want.
Perfect.
I think everyone, and this is the first time that I disagree with Debro a little bit, is I think everyone's a little too low on Dwayne Eskridge, only because I am not that high on the Seattle Seahawks. So I think with his yards after carry, with his downfield ability, there very much is this ceiling over here where he could end up being very good in that system. It's not a huge possibility, but I do see the fit there. Like, if I can get him in the 5th round, I'm kind of excited about it, because I'm not as high on their skill players as most people are. So that's probably why. So I just need to get that off my chest. It's very much needed to let that one out. Okay, Debra?
Well, and let's talk about it though. Let's talk about Seattle, because Is this offense, does this signal that this offense is going to move to more of a passing offense? Like, this is Russell Wilson, but they always say they want to run the ball. Historically, they have run the ball. Like, is that what we're going to get with Chris Carson and DJ Dallas? Or are we going to see, a lot of 3 wide receiver sets and see them spread the ball out more? Derek, I saw you shaking your head, so I want to go to you first.
No. Pete Carroll has shown us what they want to do. No. I mean, this is the same team that took Rashad Penny in the freaking first round and then didn't do a damn thing with him. No, we can't trust this team to be able to draft skill players. That's like asking the Rams to draft a good wide receiver. It doesn't happen. So no, I don't put any stock into this. Especially when you have a team that has like basically come out and said all these different things about wanting to run the ball and establish the run. And I mean, they fired the freaking offensive coordinator because he passed too much. I think we're reading way too much into this, man. Eskridge, that pick felt like a massive reach.
It did. I was shocked when they picked him. I don't know. I think they could have got him in the fourth. Like, like they only had 4 picks, but I think they could have waited even until their second, their 4th round pick to have taken him there. So, let's move on, guys. We're gonna talk risers and fallers from the NFL draft. I want to start this off because my favorite riser, player who has never had a good quarterback and now gets Justin Fields is Allen Robinson. And, I am just so excited, especially from a redraft perspective. Allen Robinson is he's got that 5th, 6th round ADP. Just because people are, they're down on the Bears offense and they're down on this and they're down on that. And I love Allen Robinson with Justin Fields. Finally he gets a competent quarterback. We've seen him get, 8 to 10 targets a game with Mitch Trubisky. Like, what if those were actually valuable targets? And so I'm really excited about him at his current ADP. And then from a dynasty perspective, it's just 28 years old, which, is kind of creeping up for the wide receiver position. But if you're making a championship run, I think you can go and get Allen Robinson for quite cheap and make a push. And I think he's only going to be able to outproduce whatever you pay for him. I don't really see a world where he lets you down outside of a wide receiver 1 on the season. So D, who's your favorite or least favorite player affected by the NFL draft?
It'd probably lean towards Myles Gaskin. I ended up with a bunch of shares of him last year just because he was so cheap, and nobody really knew what the scheme coming into Miami was really going to look like, and they just kind of had a bunch of Jags that they had coming in to kind of take command of that backfield. And so if you got lucky, you ended up with Gaskin, and when he was healthy, he performed well, and that they showed that they were willing to give him the ball. And he was one of the biggest sell candidates there was this offseason. People were doubling down that Miami would indeed be one of the teams that, selected one of these top tier running backs. But ultimately, this draft didn't unfold like that. A couple of the teams, my Falcons included, opted not to address the running back position, leaving the likes of Mike Davis, Myles Gaskin, kind of with a riches of touches potentially heading into the 2021 season. Now it's still early at this point, and maybe now is the best time to sell Myles Gaskin, because post NFL draft, his price may not get any higher than it is right now. While everybody's feeling good and confident about how Miami, they could still bring somebody in at this point. There are lots of bodies that are wanting, to run the damn ball, and Miami could address that position. And I wouldn't be surprised if they do. So if you can get a good offer for Myles Gaskin right now, I do think that it is an ideal time to get out.
Well, what do you consider as a good offer? Like if we're talking super flex leagues, is the 201 for Myles Gaskin a good offer to you, or do you want a first? I think a 201's is pretty good. I'd be pretty excited to have that.
League, I would smash on a 201 for Myles Gaskin, just based off the capital that you can get in guys in that range right now. You're talking about Elijah Moore, Rondale Moore, potentially even a Devontae Smith or Waddle in these super flex leagues. You got some quality talent, NFL talent, tier 1 guys falling in there at the 201. If you can cash in on a Myles Gaskin who has, a 6th, 7th round capital based on his profile, that's a no-brainer every day.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely agree. And Derek, I'll go down to you. What if we were to drop that back to the 205? Are you still selling Gaskin at the 205? Because you kind of talked about that drop off, and I agree. There is a big gap there, but the 205 you might still get lucky. So where are you at with that?
So I think the distinction there is what type of league you're in. In the 205 and a one quarterback league, hell no. A 205 and a super flex league, yes. I would take that because then you're looking at, and I'm going by my ranks, so this is a little bit biased. Take this for whatever you want. But 17 through 19 range, you're looking at like, I got Trey Sermon or Amon-Ra St. Brown, Michael Carter all ranked there. If I can change from Myles Gaskin to even a Michael Carter at that spot, and he's a 4th round pick, he's got no competition, and they got him for his rookie deal, yeah, I would do that. I would absolutely do that. I mean, considering that, and I mean, Dan kind of buried the lead. Jared Dokes is in Miami, okay? So he's coming for that job, baby. I just had to get us up in here. But I would be making that move, to be honest, though. I mean, because Myles Gaskin, the other thing about it is, if he doesn't get usurped, and Dan talked about this, I think the biggest reason why Miami didn't get a running back is because Denver kiboshed both of those teams. Denver traded up ahead of Miami and Atlanta and said, ha, we got your running back. And they ran away. Like, that's exactly what happened here. So, like, I think they would have addressed it. So the fact that they didn't do it this year, Myles Gaskin is a massive sell. Like, you got to be trading him if it's not right now. You got to do it in season, and you got to get rid of him because even, like, all he is the new Marlon Mack. He's going to sit there and go out there and have 1,000 yards, and then, poof, he's dust next year because they're going to add somebody. It's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, he's not the future. You can't be relying on this guy as your RB2 or even your RB3 for, the foreseeable future. So, yeah, I definitely agree. Stephanie, where are you at?
On Gaskin.
Yes. Yeah. Let's shift a little bit because I want to talk about fallers of the NFL draft. For me, it is a Miami player, but it's neither of those guys. It's Mike Gesicki, who I think takes a big hit with Jalen Waddle being added. And he plays over 50% of his snaps in the slot last year. I just think he's going to take a big hit. And so I'm a big fan of Jalen Waddle. You hook him up with his college quarterback into a takeover. So who is your biggest hit from the NFL draft, a player that, you were high on and, now or maybe you weren't high on, but they definitely took a hit from a rookie landing spot?
Well, you asked the question and also answered it for me. Gesicki is like probably one of those guys I'm thinking about, like that comes right to mind. Another one is actually, I was just talking about this, is Mims. Like, I was so high on Mims, and I am like one of those Mims truthers a little bit, but then like with every movement that they made, it's like, do you want to destroy my shares anymore? Like, again? You're going to do it again? It's like over and over again. It's like they just destroyed it. And we're going to see a lot of target sharing over there this year. I don't know how it's going to work out on the Jets. I wish them the best of luck. I'm not seeing the pieces come together. I think they did one of the best drafts that I've seen, but I feel like I almost always say this about the Jets, so I don't know. Mims is probably the one for me personally, even that definitely like that one hurt a little because I'm like very high on Mr. Mims.
That is a really nice answer, actually, because I'm too struggling with the New York Jets. I'm not really sure how to rank this offense because there's so many moving pieces and new pieces. Like, we got a brand new head coach, brand new offensive coordinator coming in, Michael Carter, then you got Elijah Moore, and then you got Jamison Crowder, who's still on the roster, and Denzel Mims and Corey Davis. So it's like, there's so many pieces here that I think you're right. There's going to be a lot of sharing, and I don't think any one guy is going to see, more than. I don't think any one guy will even see more than like 120 targets, and that's a stretch. Like, that's a lot. Even 100 targets, we might not see. So I love that call. I don't actually have any Denzel Mims because last year when I drafted, I was saying I don't want to put my faith in Adam Gase. So from a dynasty perspective, I just don't have any. But I think it's a great call. And Dan, I want to go to you, man. Like, who takes the biggest hit for you if it's not one of the guys that's already been talked about?
Well, I did like the Gesicki call, and I tweeted it out early this morning that, the Dolphins are looking at some options here with Mike Gesicki coming into his last year on his rookie contract. He had similar production this past year to the likes of Jonnu Smith, and Hunter Henry was right there in those wheelhouses. And you saw what those guys got paid this offseason. That's around $12 million a year. Do the Dolphins want to shell out $12 million a year for Gesicki moving forward? Other option would be that they could tag him, and that would end up being around $9 million. So Hunter Long in the third round was very telling that, they're looking at options to not necessarily have to pay the tight end the big money and just keep on rolling with the capital that they've been collecting these past couple off seasons. So I really do like the Gesicki call. And Jamison Crowder, going back to the Jets, he's another big loser, at least for the time being. I do foresee that the Jets will be moving on from him. Just the amount of money that they can save, I think, is north of $10 million. And Elijah Moore is a guy who has been rising in my rookie rankings post NFL draft. And part of that's hanging on the bust potential that is Zach Wilson, but the Jets seem to be convinced, and the kid does seem to make some great plays. And I'm hoping that him and Elijah Moore can really start to kick it off on the same foot in their rookie seasons and move forward from that. So Jamison Crowder's another loser for me. Now, while he may end up going to another team after he gets cut, I'm almost certain it's coming here soon.
Yeah, I mean, unless he pulls the Cole Beasley career turnaround, it's super rare and unlikely. I don't see it happening. So, Derek, where are you at? Do you have any guy that's jumping out to you that you need to warn people to go and sell in dynasty leagues if they still can from the draft? Like, let's hear about it.
If you can get a ham sandwich for Christian Kirk, you need to go and get it right now. I am so out on Christian Kirk.
They're offering ham sandwiches?
Apparently, I'm not saying that it's fresh. It could be sitting out. It's been there for a few days. It's been on the buffet. It's Subway at like 9 o'clock at night, so you don't know what you're getting, and you got to smell it first. But
I've had worse.
If you can get it, I say you go get it, because the fact of it is that Christian Kirk, there's a truther of Christian Kirk in every single dynasty league. It's a fact. Seek them out. You probably already know them. If they're not you, then go sit here and offer Kirk, because Rondell Moore spells the coffin nail for Christian Kirk. Are they going to run 3 wide a lot? Yes. Are they going to run 4 wide a lot? Yes. Rondell Moore is what they wanted Christian Kirk to be. He's a souped up version of that. And Christian Kirk, he's just not done it, man. Like, numerous seasons, it's either been injuries or underperformance. And this is Arizona saying, all right, we're out. And the guy's an unrestricted free agent in 2022. They're not going to sign him, and they're not going to bring him back. And what has he done to this point where he's either going to come back or he's going to command a contract where he walks into free agency and you're like, oh, okay, he's going to go to a better spot. He's going to gain value. That's not going to happen. Like, he's going to have to ball out. And then teams are still going to be like, your best case scenario for Christian Kirk at this point, if you hold him, is that you're hoping he's what? 2020 Corey Davis, and he goes out and he has a good season, and then you still can't get anything for him in Dynasty, and you're hoping he lands on a team that's going to like toss him some money and he has a role. So I think that right now is the time to get out on Kirk. If not now, it's in season. Like, take the first blow-up week he has, ship him for a late second, early third. I know that's not fancy and it's not fantastic. You don't have to get a first and all this other kind of stuff and try to bleed people dry to sit here and make money in Dynasty on trades. Like, that, it's just a fact, man. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you just got to know when it's time to get out, and it's time to get out from Christian Kirk.
That's actually really great advice, man. Because too many people, they are waiting for that breakout. Like, when I started playing Dynasty, I did that, right? Like, I was holding out on players that I believed in. Oh yeah, this guy's going to be good. So there's a time to get out for every single player. And, if you can go and acquire, like you'd said, even like a 3rd round pick for Christian Kirk, like after he puts up, like he's probably going to put up 1 week where he scores 20 plus points. Take advantage of that week. Go sell him for a 3rd round pick, and then you can use that 3rd round pick and what you sell Denzel Mims for after he has 1 blow up week, and you can use those 2 picks to move up into the back of the 1st or into the early 2nd or to go get a guy you want, or like you could do, a lot of things. But one thing we know from a dynasty perspective is picks will always incur value, and these players just don't. They are trending down.
Or use them as
picks,
a sweetener. Like,
for
if
sure.
you're going to go from one running back or a wide receiver up a tier, up a half step of a tier to another guy, you know what I mean? Like, that's the other move I think you could easily make as far as like, okay, I'm going to give you these 2 wide receivers or a running back in Christian Kirk, and I'm going to try to step up a tier to where you're going from a guy that you're like, okay, there's some concerns like, say, Miles Sanders, and you want to move up into somebody else where you're like, okay, I think I can move up to another player. I'm just going to throw Kirk in here and take that small step up.
Yeah, let me get the 106 for the 109 in Christian Kirk.
Yeah. Yep.
There you go.
I mean, I think it's easy. Like, even if you were, that's a good spot, Dan. I like that call because these rookie drafts, if you got them going on right now, move up a pick. Even if that helps you to move up a pick or 2 picks to get your guy. You're like, okay, shit, I'm about to miss out on the last quarterback. Now I can get up from the 104 to the 103 or something of that nature. If I throw in like Christian Kirk, I can get up a pick and I can get the player that I really, really want instead of like, now I'm sitting at the 104, the 107 or something like that. And I'm like, well, damn, what do I do here? So I think it's a really sharp call. I like that.
Yeah, well, and he still has that, I mean, somewhat name value. Like, it's silly to me because I don't understand why he does, but everybody knows who Christian Kirk is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, it's because of the draft capital. You know, he's tied to Kyler Murray and all this kind of stuff. But oh, sorry, my cat's trying to eat my food, guys. That's not okay. It's a mid-pod pause. On that note, let's take a note from our sponsor. Actually, not our sponsor, but our merchandiser. Dan, you alluded to them earlier. Viridian Global. I'm going to play a little ad for you guys. Just get you to know what they're all about. You guys are both on there. You're both in this ad. Your guys' pods and your brand. So yeah, let's check it out.
I'll just take a minute to tell you about my personal experience with Viridian. You know, I kind of had been dabbling and trying to get some potential apparel and merchandise going for Sons of Dynasty. And, you know, I got linked up with those guys over there, and they were absolutely fantastic. I mean, customer service 101. They were not satisfied until I was satisfied. And they made me a priority, and it was very apparent. It made to order, just everything you need shipped right to customer. It's essentially effortless to have your own brand being made available all around the world, and Viridian Global brings that to your fingertips.
100%. I couldn't have said it better myself. So huge shout out to Viridian Global. They do all of our merchandise. They got over 50 fantasy football affiliates, all different kinds of gear. You can literally type in a player's name and they have a shirt or a hoodie or a sweater for that player. So definitely go check it out, viridianglobal.com, for all your fantasy football apparel needs. And we're back. The best part about that video to me is that Dan did all, like, he said all that just on the air. I just took a clip from a podcast that we did. I was like, oh, I had to cut myself in and out, but man, you killed us. So I gotta thank you for that.
I was gonna get up and do a refill, but that commercial drew me in. The magicalness, and I don't know if it was my own tantalizing voice I was hearing, but here I am with an empty glass because I didn't get up.
Dan, the cheat code is that you set the bottle right behind you, and you don't have to go anywhere.
You have to stock up like this.
Yeah, Dan.
This is the move, Dan.
All
this
right.
is the move, Dan.
Let me just go find a bag to put over my head real quick.
Just don't do it on the air, okay? We're a family-friendly show.
Maybe don't love yourself so much, and you would have been able to walk away.
You know, it's something that I've been working on.
It's okay.
We all have goals, Dan. No shame, man. No shame.
I love that for you.
Oh, I love it, guys.
Love that adventure.
Love that.
That journey. It's the journey. It's great.
It's
Okay, guys, let's talk Travis Etienne here. Everyone's been talking about this week, but this was a weird pick to me. Okay, like I like J-Rob. I'm not really sure what to think of this. I've still been trying to process this. Like there's a lot of stuff going down. Like the first round capital obviously tells you that Travis Etienne is going to move right into the lineup, but I know you guys do have some strong opinions about Travis Etienne. So, Steph, I want to go to you first. Take it away. Yes, just rant here. Just do your thing.
My favorite. I don't know if anyone is. First of all, Fade the Chalk is like one of my, and this is like unbiased. Like cover up the FTN. Debro and Adam are so funny on this podcast to the point where like I'm in tears, and I've already listened to this podcast 3 times because of how hard I laugh. And it's good information, but like that's how you listen to a podcast, is because it's actually entertaining and it's good knowledge. But during this, Adam,
that was entertaining.
Our dear friend Adam could not have described it better. Is he actually whispers at one point?
Adam crushed that segment, Manny.
Bottom line is, if you wanted a third down back, you don't get him there, bro. Like that's not a third down back. He's just not a third.
I mean,
down back.
why would you? It doesn't make sense. Like
because
that's
it's
coach
not
speak.
supposed to, because it's a lie.
Yeah.
Because
Like,
it's bullshit.
Yes.
It's
he's
total
lying.
crap.
That's coach speak. 100%.
Yeah. As Adam would say, you sit on a throne of lies.
Look, but that's the thing. Like, I don't think J-Rob goes away. I just don't think he's like super relevant. Like, I don't know. I honestly still think that like J-Rob. I think he is a really good runner between the tackles, and I think Travis Etienne is best used in space. And so I've been saying like they're going to bump him out into the slot, and I think this really hurts Visca, even maybe more so than it hurts J-Rob, because I'm not too sure how much they're going to use him in the backfield. I think we see 100 touches on the ground, 100 targets to 120 targets through the air for Travis Etienne. I think very, very heavily used in the slot, less so in the backfield. And J-Rob still sees 100 to 150 rushes on the ground, and maybe the goal line work, because that's just what he does better. So like, I think it's kind of messy. And I know like all 3 of you guys are going to agree with me here, but that's why I run a podcast, so I can talk about this kind of stuff and watch all 3 of you glare at me. So Dan, I see you shaking your head. Tell me what's going through your mind right now.
J-Rob's dead, man. He is absolutely dead. I love him. I love what he did this past year.
Rest in peace, sir.
And we will always talk about.
Wait, so is this the time?
J-Rob.
Is this what you're saying? Get out.
His 90.
You can't get out. You're stuck.
His 90.
That's the problem. You're stuck.
Rate was amazing, but it's out the window. At best, he's going to be in between the 20s type of guy, a thumper, and Travis Etienne's going to get majority of the valuable touches. He's proved to be an excellent red zone running back. Receiving wise, I think Etienne steps in pretty much day one and starts getting majority of those valuable touches that you're looking for. And we know what happens down the road as far as dynasty goes. One guy's got the capital, he's locked in, and one guy is a great story that had a great season. But the fact of the matter is Travis Etienne is taking over that backfield sooner rather than later.
But he's so good. J-Rob's just so good.
I know.
he is a good running back. Like from a pure running back perspective, J-Rob is a good running back. But I mean, obviously the draft capital speaks to Travis Etienne. No draft capital, says something about James Robinson. So it's hard to deny that. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that like Travis Etienne is not going to be a valuable player. For fantasy, I took him over my darling Javonte Williams in my own rookie draft. Simply because I do think like he has that really high upside, and he's a receiving weapon. And that, like you said it best, those are the valuable touches that I think that Travis Etienne is going to incur. And so, pair him up with Trevor Lawrence, it's hard to not be excited about that. So I do agree, but I also just want to put it out there. I don't think J-Rob completely goes away, maybe for fantasy, but I think he's still going to take touches in that backfield. Derek, what do you think? I mean, is there anything to add?
James Robinson truthers don't even, when they're fast forwarding through this segment, they don't want to hear any part of this. They never wanted to hear it to begin with. My whole thing is that, like, Travis Etienne, the floor is that, like, he's going to have a DeAndre Swift type of year. And I mean, again, we need to talk about Darrell Bevel's in the house. We saw this play out last year. I think J-Rob is going to be involved some this year. But the fact of it is that Urban Meyer does not care about any of this. Urban Meyer does not care that James Robinson's a good... And James Robinson is a good running back. People never can separate the fact of, like, that I'm saying trade away James Robinson in Dynasty, and they're like, well, you hate the guy. I'm like, I don't hate the guy. He's a good running back. But Jacksonville doesn't care. Like, he's a UDFA. Yeah. They showed us they don't care. Like, I was like, you need to get rid of him. Get rid of him, get rid of him. And then the first round happens, and then, boom! His Dynasty stock just goes, bye-bye. So, right now...
Didn't you hold this, bro? I'm pretty sure you knew that this was going to happen, right?
I said it for weeks and nobody wanted to hear it. People still don't want to hear it.
And it was weeks ago. Like, I will give D-Bro this. Like, I remember listening to it. I thought it was a little crazy, but I'm also like, Urban Meyer's the dude that's like, he's going to get on and go, yeah, ETN is a third down back. No, he's not a third down back, okay? Like, you drafted him because you're drafting him because he's ETN. But D-Bro totally called this weeks ago, at least 3 weeks ago.
It's crazy, man. And I love James Robinson for the player that he is, and he played extremely well last year. I think there's a really interesting point in all of this, Julien, that I want to kind of bring up here, because people doing rookie dynasty drafts and stuff. You said you took ETN over Javonte Williams, right?
Yep.
So in the ranks that I just finished up yesterday, I actually have, and they are really, really close. Like, I won't fight anybody too hard. The reason that I would take Javonte Williams over ETN in that spot is that James Robinson still has 2 years left on his deal for Jacksonville. So if he does hang around as a thorn, then he's there for 2 years. Like, and he cost them damn near nothing. So he probably is going to hang around. Carlos Hyde's going to be gone. Whereas, yes, you hit the nail on the head. Melvin Gordon is out the door this year, and he's an older running back. So if we get some semblance, like if Melvin Gordon gets hurt this year or something, and I'm not projecting that on that man. I love Melvin Gordon as a running back. But if it happens, there's nobody in Denver to take work away from Javonte Williams, and he's gone after this year. So if people are at that decision point in Dynasty rookie drafts, and they're like, do I take Javonte? Do I take ETN? My decision is I'm taking Javonte because it's 1 year, and it might not even take the full year. Like, he could take over the backfield right now, because if they don't bring in a quarterback upgrade, Denver's kind of showing us right now, if they ride with Teddy B, they could run. And that's
what Javonte does very well. He runs the ball hard-nosed, and, they're
and that's why I'm leaving Javonte over ETN, but it's close. And people want to bring up the first-round capital, and I'm like, when you're at the top of the second versus the late first, it's nothing. It's nothing. You're literally splitting hairs, and you're making yourself feel better about it, because saying, it's first-round capital versus second round. He wasn't drafted at the end of the second round. He was drafted at the top of the second round. It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter at all.
That was my argument last year for Clyde, actually, because I would say, like, I wasn't bought in, especially when people were moving him up to the 101. Like, I was just not bought in on that. They're like, well, he was a first-round pick, and I'm like, okay, but, like, no one wants, like, people are fading Javonte Williams because he was a second-round pick, and they traded up to get him at number 35. That's 3 picks
That's
after.
A bad fade. That's a bad fade.
Like,
I'm gonna call
it doesn't make sense to me. So, but I'll give you some context, because so in this particular league, I had the 104 as well. It was a super flex league. I'm set at quarterback. Okay. So I ended up grabbing Najee Harris at the 104. And then I had the choice between these two. And so for me, then I went Travis Etienne. And I was also able to lock up Jalen Waddle in that draft as well. And so,
I mean, I'm not trying to say this like I don't hate the pick and I don't hate Etienne.
No.
It's just my decision point and the way that I'm kind of parsing out, like, these kind of tiers in Dynasty rookie drafts, that's where I lean. And I know a lot of the people will lean ETN, and that's fine, because he could be the guy. And for what I'm kind of putting stock in James Robinson being a thorn, if he's not a thorn, then Travis Etienne could absolutely explode this year. I mean, he could get a lot of targets. The offense could be extremely good, and people could be fading or underselling what he could do this year because they're worried about freaking coach speak. Like, Urban Meyer's out here in the streets talking about it like, do you think he really wants to piss off any of the veterans coming into a new situation? Like, does he want to sit here and sign Carlos Hyde and sit here and be like, well, you suck? or James Robinson. We want these guys to play hard all year. Our Urban Meyer's not going to come in before camp and sit here and be like, well, our first-round pick is just sitting here booting y'all to the street. We haven't even had training camp or OTAs, and y'all are out here looking for some lunch money. No, he's not going to say that. God.
No, of course not. I mean, this is an NFL franchise we're talking about. These are real life teams, and they have to, they got to keep all of the things behind the scenes under wraps and keep everybody happy. So I couldn't agree more. I think, of course, this is coach speak, especially like right after the NFL draft. Like, how would you even have come up with a decision like that? Like, how are you going to say that this guy is locked into this third down back role, like what, a day after the NFL draft? So, this is interesting. I'm not sure if this is true, but I'm going to go for it here. This could be very interesting. So breaking the Packers.
No, please God, no. Please God, please no. I knew this was going to happen. I said it on Twitter literally 2 days ago. If this happens, I'm going to be a Bills fan. I don't want to even, I'm out. I'm out of the equation. No.
He heads to Twitter to sit here and figure out if this is real or not.
Okay, please.
Yeah, I was literally just about to be like, can somebody fact check this for me? Because I'm too busy looking at the screen and Steph's yelling at me. We got to do a giveaway here pretty soon, guys. We're coming up to the end of our show, but we're going to be doing a T-shirt giveaway for our Brighter Skies contest. So we've got 10 minutes left. I actually just want to take this last 9 minutes of the show just to talk about Brighter Skies and how important it is to me, what the actual fundraiser is about, and basically what we're doing. So I'm sure if you're watching the video this podcast right now, you have heard about Brighter Skies because I've been talking about it for a while. But I'm just going to play a quick little 2-minute video that kind of explains how everything works, breaks down what we're doing, and how the Best Ball League is set up. FF. And I'm here with Ben at the Extra Point FF. How you doing, Ben?
Good, man. Yeah, Ben, you probably know me as at the Extra Point FF. Julien and I are here. We're ready to announce a kickoff of a special fundraiser that we're going to be doing. Recently, a member of our community was bullied to the point where she saw no alternative other than to attempt to take her own life.
Yeah, that's devastating, man. So you, myself, and several other fantasy football members of the community have come together to create the Brighter Skies Best Ball League and Podathon. Our mission is to spread awareness of the serious impact cyberbullying can have.
Yeah, absolutely. So unfortunately, Twitter only gives us about 2 minutes and 20 seconds to record a video. So just to kind of get into it really quick, first and foremost, what we're doing as far as the fundraiser goes, we're going to be running a best ball league. Our plan is to do a 16-team best ball league, probably run it about 20 rounds. And the draft is going to actually take place during an all-day podathon, as we're calling it, kind of like a telethon. And that's going to be on June 26th. And we're going to go live with commentary from hosts as the whole thing goes on. Basically commenting on the draft picks, and the hosts are going to be from the fantasy community. Most, if not all, you probably know at this point. Now you're probably wondering, how do I get in? This sounds fun. To get in, we are going to be doing a raffle style entry. So you got to buy a ticket, quote unquote, because you're not paying us anything. So buy a ticket. You are actually going to be donating to our fundraiser of choice, Cyber Smile Foundation. Cyber Smile promotes and basically tries to combat social media and online bullying. So to get in, what you'll end up doing is you'll click the link that's in this Twitter post, and it's going to take you to our fundraiser page. So you will donate and buy a raffle ticket. Raffle tickets are going to cost a $20 donation, and you can buy up to 10 tickets. Once you donate, you're going to receive a thank you message from us that'll have a link where you fill out the form that we'll send to us, and your name will be in the drawing. So make sure that you click the link that's in this post to go to the fundraiser page, donate, and then follow through with that link in the thank you message. And then, of course, make sure you follow us at the Brighter Skies FF Twitter account so that you can stay tuned to any updates from us as they happen over the next couple of weeks.
Thanks for checking us out. Stay tuned, guys. You can tell that we filmed that a couple months ago because I was wearing my nice Viridian toque. It was still very cold here, but these days I don't have any Viridian gear I was telling Dan before we got on the air here, I need some hats and some t-shirts and whatnot. I don't have any of this this nice warm weather gear. I've got 3 sweaters and a big big shirt. So anyways, guys, I'm rambling now, but let's get into this giveaway. I'm super pumped to do this. So basically the way this has worked, I set it up last week on the pod. Oh, Steph, here, let me move this so that we can see your face.
No, please. I'm messaging Adam.
Put Derek at the bottom there.
That's so funny.
Adam, I can't wait to clip the part where Debro and I literally can't speak because we're laughing. So, like, you guys have to listen to that episode. I promise you it will be the funniest thing you've ever listened to. But yes, thank you for showing my face. I'm a little distraught. I hope this Washington news is fake. Okay.
Yeah, well, I'll be honest. The wheel kind of looks Washington Washington bound right now. It's my point after colors, but we got the brown and yellow in there. So yeah, we're gonna spin this wheel. Basically, the way this is gonna work, everybody who's entered the Brighter Skies raffle, who has donated to get into the Best Ball League that you guys just saw the video about, has been entered into this draw. And so from last week all the way up until now, anybody who entered in that time was also entered. So we've got 22 people on this wheel. We're going to do this draw, and it's for a Brighter Skies t-shirt. So if you wanted, it's up here in the top left corner. You can get that any color that you want. You just let me know. I'll reach out after we do the draw to get all the information. But I'm excited to do this, guys. This should be a lot of fun. This is all right. Here we go. How do I spin it? I've never used this before. Do I just click it, D?
I can barely use a mic, bro. I don't know.
All right, here we go.
Like, I don't know.
We're going.
This thing keeps going deceivingly long.
Oh no!
Damn,
No!
that's
No!
whack.
No! Diddley Dynasty. That's how it's looking.
You watch the
There
pain
we
in
go.
Dan's face.
It's
He's like,
supposed to,
yes.
shoot up.
I thought it was me for sure.
It's supposed to light up. But anyways, Diddley Dynasty, you've won the Brighter Skies t-shirt. Thank you so much for donating to our charity event and getting yourself entered into the Best Ball League. And if you guys don't know, every single person who gets chosen. So as I mentioned, there's 22 people on here right now. Some people have more entries than other because it's $20 per entry. So if you donate more, you get more entries into the raffle. But there's still a pretty good chance you get in here, and every single person who gets into the league will walk away with a prize. So we have a list of quite a few different prizes. Monkey Knife Fight cash. We've got Prediction Strike cash. We got a bunch of different packages from fantasy football affiliates. Dan, you at Sons of Dynasty are doing something yourself. Just a whole lot of we've got a bunch of different subscription services that we've got set up. So you can find all that information over on the Brighter Skies FF Twitter handle. All of the information's there. It has all of the prizes that you can win. And so once you get entered into this, there's still a pretty good chance that you're going to be in. It's only looking like about 6 people who have entered are not going to be in the league yet. So we want to bump those numbers up a little bit, but I'm giving some spoilers here because they're all on a wheel in front of me. So yeah, excuse me, guys. Thank you guys for coming on the show and doing this giveaway with me, talking some rookies. It was an absolute pleasure kicking it with you guys. It's been a crazy busy week, and this was a perfect way to wind down my Friday, just talking some football with some of the best in the biz. So before we get out of here, I want to give you guys all an opportunity to just plug yourself, talk about what you're doing. Pretty much everybody in this circle here has a bunch of content coming out here. So Steph, I want to start with you. What are you working on? What can people look for over the next couple of weeks? Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute, Steph.
Well, it'd be helpful if at first, I told you I can't work a mic. Like, I made that very clear. It's like a warning. I got really into what I was saying too. You guys can find all my small talk episodes with FTN. Those are coming out weekly. I had a meeting today. Have some very cool stuff coming out. Not as cool as Fade the Chalk, but I do have some things in the works. You can find me on your timeline because I am all over Twitter, and you don't have an option whether you follow me or not. If you want to follow me for the direct interaction, you can follow me at Stephie Smalls with 3 L's. And that's it. I mean, look what I'm doing on Twitter and go from there.
And then you'll know. Derek, obviously, you've got your Fade the Chalk podcast. What are you guys working on? What's your motive over the next couple weeks?
Before I even get to any of my stuff, I want to sit here and talk about Smalls here for a second. She has been crushing content. No, I'm going to.
Seriously.
And you put yourself on mute. It's fine. Turn the camera off and whatever. You can blush, walk away. It's all good. Smalls has been crushing content over at FTN. She's got some stuff in the works, so you need to be following her. And the other thing, I want to give some backstory here. Smalls, do you want to tell the people at home why you have the 3 L's in your Twitter handle here? Just for a second before I get up into my long spiel.
Because it's my favorite part about my Twitter handle. So, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this guy. His name rhymes with Mom Mandy. It's Tom Brady.
Mom Mandy? Does that rhyme with Tom Brady?
It didn't come out as
nope.
Tom Brady.
Nope, it does not.
Do we know Tom Brady? Does everyone know
Yes.
Tom Brady? You know
I know who Tom Brady is.
Okay.
I know who Tom Brady is.
Do you know how many Super Bowl losses he has?
10.
No, losses.
No, losses. Okay, that's appearances. Sorry.
Right.
3, I think.
3,
Yeah, 3.
Right?
If he has 10 and he has 7 rings,
How
I
many-
mean.
Right. So I have 3 L's, which represent my boy, Tom Brady. Those are his 3 L's. 2 of them come from my New York Giants, and 1 comes from my Nick Foles, who went to my alma mater. We went to college together. He's a great dude. And there we go. That's how you get the 3 L's.
Yeah, I think you had just changed that the last time you came on the pod, because you were very excited to tell me why you had 3 L's. And I was equally as excited because I'm not a Tom Brady fan. Of course, I love the talent, but I hate the Patriots. You either love them or you hate them, and I fall on the hate side. So here we go.
You got to be following
right.
Smalls. She's carrying all the L's for Thomas Brady. So
there we go.
But to wrap this all up, man, follow me on Twitter at @deepro_FFB. All my stuff is at FTN right now. And moving forward, I don't know why I phrased it like that, but anyway.
I'm telling Elliot.
I'll get it reported to. No, don't! I'm gonna get reported to HR. Okay, don't do that. Don't do that. Well, no. I'm gonna phrase. Hold up. If you do tell it to Elliot, just do it after the time of 8 p.m. Eastern,
right.
And he won't see it. So it's totally fine. But
That's
anyway,
why I
good
go
call.
crazy on Twitter.
Good call.
He can't get mad at me because he's asleep.
Go to FTN across all 3 arms of FTN: FTN Fantasy, FTN Daily, FTNBets.com. All my content is there. I just dropped a 4-round rookie dynasty mock draft going through, and this is 1 QB. Next week is going to be I'm going to go through Superflex. Got some more best ball content in the works. As well as a ton of rookie content spread over all of FTN Fantasy. And yes, Steph brought it up. Check out Fade the Chalk. My co-host and I, Adam Pfeiffer, are rocking 4 to 5 episodes per week. We've just recorded a monster, like a 2-hour-long episode with Pat Crane from ETR, going through a 3-round rookie dynasty mock. And so much good content, and people finding the diamonds in the rough in this rookie class. So yeah, I mean, thank y'all for having me. This has been a blast. I love to be able to chop it up with both of y'all, especially Dan. I mean, look, we used to be in everybody's mentions, our same mentions. I mean, Dan used to have a very different handle than what he does right now. And basically people would tweet at both of us constantly, and I'm like, are they talking to me or are they talking to Dan? I don't really know what's going on here, but I got pulled
I was
into
one
the
of those
parallel
people.
universe.
I'm being serious.
It's so funny, man. I mean, me and Dan used to be up at the DMs like, are they talking to you? Are they talking to me? I don't know, but I mean, somebody's gonna answer them, man. So no, thank y'all for having me. This was a blast, man.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times, people are sending me a league-winning T-shirt or whatnot, and it comes addressed to me as Derek Brown. So I get called Derek regularly. Like Derek mentioned, I've been tagged several times when I shouldn't have been tagged. I'm getting all sorts of credit from
people
this
up in my DMs. They're like, "Hi, Dan," and I'm like, "Who the fuck is Dan?
and so
like,
long,
where do you see Dan on my profile?"
so long as so long as the balance remains the same, that he is the bigger D Brown, I'll keep taking the credit when I can get it. And I'm not going to say for sure that he was the reason I changed my handle, but it was a factor. It weighed in a little bit. I have been a huge fan of Derek's, for a couple of years now.
Same.
So got the opportunity to link up with him here tonight, and it was an absolute pleasure. As he mentioned, Fade the Chalk. I don't get to listen to too many podcasts, as many as I used to anyway. But Derek, Fade the Chalk is a staple in my rotation. So y'all keep going. You and Adam both, man. The content is A1 every episode. So y'all keep doing what y'all are doing. Steffi, this is the second episode we've had here in the last few weeks, and you were just as charming as the last time.
Charming! Dad!
I was.
She's got to be surprised by it. She's called a lot of things on Twitter. Charming's not one of them usually.
I was tuning into Twitter regularly today, and I saw you just about every time I was on there. You had a live stream going of some sort. So I really do admire your grind and your determination here on a daily basis on this platform we all love. And Jules, you are a gem week in and week out, brother. We talk on a daily basis, but I do appreciate you putting up with my nonsense here regularly.
Well, I could say the same thing to you. I feel like every day I'm in your DMs asking you about a trade offer. Dan, I need your help, man. Derek, I need your help, man. I used to be one of those guys, by the way. I used to at both of you and be like, oh, are these the same guy? I'll just do it both.
I mean, it's all good. I don't hate it, man. I just think it's funny. I think it's hilarious.
It's so funny, man. It is hilarious. Well, and oh, I love it. On that note, that is a perfect way to end our episodes. By the way, guys, I got nervous at the beginning. I forgot to say this, but this was the 50th episode of the Point After podcast. It was a very big episode for me. I was super pumped for this one. Halfway to 100, which is, the next milestone. 50 was the first one. So thank you guys both for coming on and joining us. This was an absolute pleasure. Yeah, you could be on the 69th, I guess. We'll figure it out. Daniel, you want
just calling her shot. Just calling her shot.
It's the beard. I know.
Yeah, it's right. It's this charming Dan guy over here.
Yeah, he does it too. Yeah, it's hard to deny Dan Brown and Derek Brown and Stephie Smalls. So, anyways, guys, it's been a pleasure. What was that, Steph?
No, nothing. I'm gonna just continue. You're doing a great outro.
It's just our outro. Here we go. I'm going to hit the button. We're going to listen to a song. Everybody's going to have a fantastic Friday night. I'll see you guys later.